just realized it was recording. Hey! Welcome to the 54th episode of the But I'm Knitting podcast. My name is Ramona. I'm a crafter from Toronto, and welcome to my corner of the crafting world. Let's see, what do I have today? I have absolutely no finished objects, but considering that's not a big deal. I've got two projects that I'm working on. I found something I was looking for. I have kind of pre-planned for the weekend. I guess the best way that I could say it's going to last longer than the weekend. But let's start with my new cast-ons. So last week I've mentioned it off and on a few times. I have a pair of socks that I'm knitting for a friend of mine. She gave me the yarn and everything. And I had issues when I first cut the ball. I could not find the starting point from the inside ball of the yarn. Hold on a second. Yeah, I can use this one as an example. So this is the second ball of the yarn that she got me. And you know how you're supposed to go from the right side? Yeah. So like this side of the label. So if you see the label here, this is the side that you go on to take it out. So I was trying to pull out the starting point of the thing, and I could not find it for the life of me. I just kept coming out with clumps and clumps and clumps. But I found the outside part of the yarn very easily. I got frustrated with it, so I said what I was going to do, what was it, last week Friday when I saw her, we were actually getting ready to do, in a sense, a presentation. And while I was doing while we were doing the presentation of basically all of our crafted stuff, I sat down there and I just rolled the ball from the outside and just made it into a ball because I could not take it anymore. I didn't want to go hunting from the middle. So this is the yarn that I'm using. Is that a good representation, or do I need to use the paper again? Let's try the paper again. So this is the yarn. Yeah. I'm going to make sure I always have a piece of paper on me. So this is the yarn. Spernat socks made out of acrylic and nylon. And its colorway is called Tutu. I doubt I'm going to remember this next time anyways. So here is where I am with the sock now. I am just on the cuff. That's as far as I've made it. That's what I've done since last week, since I started it. I did the cuff, and basically, yeah, that's all I've done for it. I kind of like the way the colors are kind of swirling on it. It looks cool. That's about it. So for the presentation I went to, I actually ended up having to leave early because I had to head over to Hamilton. But the funny thing is, when I left, I ended up having to wait like 30 minutes for the bus, which upset me very greatly because there was like a heat wave going on in Toronto. I think pretty much anywhere in North America right now. Maybe with the exception of, I don't know, New Brunswick or Newfoundland or something, where they had snow a couple weeks ago, which is, nuts. So I ended up getting myself a shiny shelter for anybody who plays Pokemon Go. I was very excited about that. That was the highlight of the trip, because otherwise I was dying of heat. So that's my new cast-on project. My other project, which is my work in progress, is my Half Moon Oracle. This is a shawl pattern by, sorry, it's getting a bit tangled there. My shawl pattern, this one's by Kristen Lair. Now, I didn't mark where I was last week, much to my dismay, but there is progress. I just don't know where exactly that progress started from. I think I was finished I was almost finished the what's it called? The brioche section. I made my way through the lace. Okay. I guess it's best if I just do it this way. So, last time I was probably somewhere around here on the brioche section. So now I finished the lace, the second lace section, and then I'm on the next brioche section. And if I go according to the pattern, how much further do I have to go? I don't even remember anymore. Let's see here. Oh, okay, so I'm on the last brioche section. So if you go according to the big picture here, I am at this section here. And then I have one more lace section, and I'll then just do the bind off. This is actually going much better than I thought it was. I didn't even realize I was that far along. Woot woot. So that's the progress that I've made on this project so far. I'm quite satisfied with that. I have not planned, no, I did mention my next shawl, but I have not balled any yarn or anything for it. That's okay. That's alright. So the yarn that I'm using for this, let me put that down there. The yarn that I'm using for this is kind of a bit of a tangled mess. So I am using, oh, my bag, sorry, my bag is starting to fall apart. It just started to fray. I don't know how to fix that back. One of my friends said she'll help me with it, but it'd be like new fabric putting on it, so, oh well. So, I've got, this is Wilmy's Twin, in either the colorways Sabrina or Elsie. No, sorry, Sabrina. Yeah, Sabrina or Elsa. That's the name of the colorway. That was color A. Color B, this one is by Kristen. It's from Vine Yarns. This is on her footsie base, and the colorway is called Pandora. And then the last one, this one is Knit Pick Stroll in the colorway Majestic. So that is the yarns that I'm using for it. I think I'm using a US, yeah, it definitely is a US 6, because I remember going to the store to having to go buy it last week, or the week before last, I think. So that is my current work in progress. So that's not too bad. I didn't touch any of those socks that I brought up and other products I brought up from last week. I guess eventually I'll get around to them, but I don't really feel the urge to work on them, so to speak. Like, I'm even the business casual socks, as much as I like the pattern, I'm gonna pull it out. I'm pretty certain I'm gonna pull it out because it's too tight. It's not a comfortable fit, and I don't like that. The other stuff I have, well, we'll see what happens with those. There was a while back I got a set of bags from Crochet 1 Knit 2, I think is what it's called. And one of the bags I had misplaced, I couldn't find it. Well, I found it. Finally found it. So it's the one, it has the, yeah, Crochet 1 Knit 2. So it's the Marauders map. It's just a small little sock bag. So happy I finally found it. Oh, I just realized the inside says Harry Potter, in case I didn't realize what universe this was from. So it's basically like a sock ball. Just put it on your thing and just knit from it. So, yeah, finally found it, and I'm hoping I don't misplace it again. That's like my home for like my bags when I'm not using them. So, my future projects, because I think I was watching an episode of, I hate it when my memory just goes on me like that. And I'm thinking of the podcast too. Knitting Expat, right? Mina was talking about how she always has like balls of yarn wrapped up and just ready to go for whenever she wants to use it. So, I don't know, I just said I might as well do that too, because I wanted to do that. So, here are the ones that I've balled up for now. Some, 2 of them are mine that I dyed, 2 of them are from other dyers. So, this one is this one's called Cisco. You've seen this one before in cake format, not in cake format, in skein format. The problem with this is while I was winding it off, it kind of got stuck in the gears of my ball winder. So I had to break it because I couldn't just take it out without it, breaking the yarn anyway. So I just cut it, pulled out the excess, and continued rolling them up. I'm not a big fan of my ball winder because it does messes like this. So that's one, balled up and ready to go. The other one by me is, which one is this one? It's Supergirl and, or is it I Am Supergirl? I don't know. But there's that one. So for this one, it started out coming like a cake, and then for some reason my ball winder decided it could no longer handle the stuff, so I had to, by hand, take it off of the ball winder and start wrapping it around it. So that's how I ended up with this loveliness. So I really want to get started on this one. I'm pretty certain this is going to be probably the next one that I do. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to working with this one to see what it's like. The other one I got, this one is from Gnome Acres. This is the last skein that I bought from her from last year, because according to the label, which I kept, it has a born date of June 16, 2017. So it's almost a year that I've had it in my possession. So, and the colorway for this one is, I think it's Wonder Woman. Quite certain, yeah, Wonder Woman. You can see down there, hold on. Yeah, So it's called Wonder Woman. It's definitely going to be a pair of socks. I love the colors, and I think they're beautiful. And then the last one, I got this from Sinister Yarns when she did a trunk show at Yarns Untangled. And the colorway is called Untangled. And of course, as soon as I brought this back out, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this. My first instinct after that was, I wonder what trunk shows are doing at Yarns Untangled and who they're having. So I even went to the website, and when I looked, they said that they're doing it on like the last Sunday of July and August. I know that they are having trunk shows. Oh, sorry, June, July, and I think August. August did not have anything, but it didn't say who's gonna be there for the trunk show. So I'll have to wait and see. And surprisingly, do you see my ball winder decided to work absolutely perfectly for this one. So it comes with 2 mini skeins. I think they're about, how many does it say? 100 grams for that, but it doesn't say for the minis how much they were. I can't remember. Probably not that much. But still, for heel cuffs and toes. I haven't quite decided exactly how I'm going to do it for those ones, but we'll leave those as it is. So I put that back in there. Here's the label. So it's a Shifty Sock set. Sinister Yarns. And the colorway is called Untangled. Okay? So put that back there. Put these in here. And that. And then quickly smash down the lid because it won't do it on its own. Okay. So those are all my soon-to-be projects. The one that I didn't wind that I wanted to wind off, where did I put it? I had thrown it on my bed. Ah, here it is. I've determined, it was the one I showed yesterday that I got from my red sock, blue sock in the color Grape Jelly. This is definitely going to be a pair of BFF socks, but I'm just not putting it on the list until I don't even know when. There's no rush for this one. I got a drawer full of stuff. Yeah, and I even did laundry, so I don't think I have any dirty ones either. So, like, they're all clean. So eventually I just have to get around to actually, putting everything away. And, knitting more socks. Let's see. What else did I do? Coming up this weekend, I am doing, they say it's kind of camping. I just kept thinking to myself, you're putting me out in the middle of nowhere. But they said we have cabins. So it's a church event. It's one of those things where the problem is I don't really do nature. I barely go walking in the parks by my house, mostly due to the fact that the bugs are there, and I'm not a fan of bugs. It's probably one of the reasons why I have not gone to Jamaica since I was like 11 or something like that. I'm not a fan of bugs. I don't care about stuff like flies or something like that, but I don't like them when they're like practically coming at you like with like sheets of bugs. It's disgusting. So I'm going to venture out to do this. But the whole reason why I packed up those yarns is because we're driving there, and it's about, I think, a 4-hour drive because it's just north of Ottawa that we're going to. So, see, I don't think it's not 5 hours. I think it's about 4 hours. So, it's either I knit, I sleep. Yeah, those are pretty much my options. So, or talk to the other people in the vehicle. So I brought my own entertainment. I'm bringing my own entertainment because that's what I always do. And yeah, we'll see how well this goes. I don't think I'm going to be volunteering to do this again, though. We'll see how well it goes. I actually think that's going to be everything for this week. The only things that have changed otherwise is I've gotten a new fountain pen. It looks almost exactly like the other ones I've had before, except that it's a medium tip instead of a fine tip for the Metropolitan. And I tried it out while I was in the store. The store I went to was Wonder Pens. Hold on a second. I have a bag. So, Wonder Pens. That's where I went to. It's in downtown Toronto. It's not Ossington Station that you get off at. There's another station that you go to, I think. Yeah, I can't remember. Either way, when I went there yesterday, I got off at Ossington Station thinking that it was the right one, and I did a lot of walking. I took the bus first to get down to College Street because it said, if I remember correctly, if I actually no, Google Maps sent me in this direction, but I don't think it's the same way that it took before to get there. So I went to, I got off at Ossington Station, I headed south on the 63, got off at College, and then I started to walk east. I double checked my directions and said, yeah, go east. So I'm walking, and I'm walking, and I'm walking, and I'm like, I'm still not seeing this place. I wonder where this place is. And I continue walking, and then I decided, ooh, there's Pizzaville. Let me stop in and go to Pizzaville. Sat down, had a slice, apparently listened when they scored some big goal for the World Cup. And then, continued about my journey, continued walking and walking. Pulled out my phone and, started to wonder, am I heading in the right direction? Seems like it. Okay, so I continued walking and walking, and I'm just looking for a familiar intersection because I could not find the place, because I know what the intersection looks like, and I haven't passed it, because all of these other ones, instead of it being like a straight street that hits College, they're all very curved streets, and you can see it. So I'm like, okay, no, it's a straight street because I walked a straight street up to the store. That's what I remember doing. So I continued walking and walking, and then I see a sign coming up at an intersection that said Wonder Pens, and it had a picture of a fountain pen pointing in the direction of the street. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's about time. So I went inside there. I got wonderful service. I got help with one of my pens because I got a converter for it, and then I tried to put the converter in. Converter went in fine, but then when it's supposed to pull up the ink, it wasn't pulling up the ink. So, but I liked the way the pen was writing, because if it doesn't actually pull up the ink tip still gets wet. Sorry, the nib still gets wet and it will still write. And I love the way that it wrote, but I wanted to actually be able to put my own ink in it. The whole point is, the reason I got the converter, so I can get to put my own ink instead of using the cartridge. So I got it, and she showed me what I was doing. Well, not what I was doing wrong. It just takes a few tries. So I finally got it to work. Very happy. And she asked if there was anything else. I said, actually, yes, there is. So I ended up buying myself a medium tip Metropolitan, Pilot Metropolitan, and then afterwards I ended up buying Noodler ink, in the color, I can't remember what the color is, but it's a pink color. I decided I needed a pink because I did not have one. Because I got pink, for my actual, ink bottles. I've got, what was it? I got black, I've got a turquoise, I've got a little bit of purple. I've got green. I made sure I got green. And an orange color. So to me, that covers a good amount of the spectrum. The purple, I'm not too big of a fan of it. It needs to be, I'd like the color to be richer, and I'll get to that. But the one that I got was one I picked up from Michael's before. So eventually I will, once that one starts to run a lot lower, then I will go and actually go buy a purple one. I was actually very happy when I found out about this store, because I think when it comes to shopping, if I can get it online, I'll get it online. But if I find a local source for it, I'd rather go into the store myself and go get it. It ends up being about the same. If I actually paid cash for bus fare as opposed to having a bus pass, it would work out to being the same. So why not make a day out of it? So yeah. So I left with a new pen and I left with new ink. That is pretty much it. I borrowed blocking mats from my friend so I can get to block out some of my shelves, because I finally determined yesterday, I'm going to set these things up and I'm going to block these shelves. So I have the Doodler shawl, I have the Find Your Fade shawl, and I have the Speckle and Pop shawl. So the Speckle and Pop, I was trying to do that all at one time on my mats, but my mats are way too small. My friend let me borrow hers. Hers are much, much bigger. But also, when I started to use hers, I realized I still can't fit it on there. So, what I'm doing now is, it's currently drying for the edging, for the zigzag portion at the end, and then afterwards I'm going to take that then I'm going to pin out, do the other part of it. I'm just gonna have to do it in 2 steps. Yeah, and then do that one, and then switch out to the other ones and see how well I can get those blocked. Keep in mind, I have never really blocked anything before. I've never blocked for socks. Like, I even bought T-pins just for the occasion. So we'll see how well this goes. So that is everything. I'm sure that's everything. So thank you for spending your quality time with me, your crafting time, your podcast time, and all of that. And I hope to see you again next week or next time for the next episode. So have a good day. Bye.